Hi. Just starting out, deciding where to submit your film can be daunting. Smaller festivals and side competitions from the majors can be exciting places to launch a film, as well as possibly more achievable. The difficulty is you have to enter these things long beforehand, and there's a whole hierarchy to the film festivals, with premier level at the top, then working your way down all the way through to the local one at the end of the road. But every festival is going to want your world premiere. That's what you'll need to put a good deal of thought into, because once you've given that up, then everything becomes a bit of a bun fight. Your country premiere, then your state premiere, then working your way downwards. Now, if you have some success, it can work for you and the festivals may invite your film. But if not, you'll start lowering your sights as you drop out of contention, having given up those premiere slots. Now, what can really help you get in or just decide where to aim at can be broken down to some extent. Top tier festivals would include Cannes, Berlin, Venice. If you enter one of these and get in, you've done a fantastic job and set your film up as best you can to have a life, as well as be selected for other lesser festivals around the world. Arguably the most prestigious film festival in the world, Cannes takes place along the French Riviera and attracts top international auteurs, but its sidebar programs are more open to budding filmmakers. If you're just starting a career, it's wise to consider Un Certain Regard for features, documentaries. Then there are the two long-running parallel sections, Directors Fortnight and Critics Week, both of which highlight more daring films from around the world. The Venice International Film Festival has the distinction of being the oldest festival in the world, along with Cannes, Berlin, Toronto and Sundance. It's one of the big five. Like Cannes, Venice's main competition only plays world premieres from major international filmmakers, reserving its sidebars for up-and-coming titles. At Venice Days, you'll find more unconventional films. If you're looking to join the latest in world cinema, then consider submitting for the Locarno Film Festival. Its biggest screenings happen outside during the summer. Perhaps the most experimental of the big European festivals, it's smaller than Cannes or Venice. It's also less glitzy and industry focused, whilst being a friendlier environment for cinephiles. A staple of American independent film for 44 years, Sundance is considered the premier American festival. Thanks to its January timing, it's also the conversation starter for the cinematic year, announcing trends and exciting new writers and directors. The best way for a new filmmaker to make it to Sundance is by applying to one of its labs or mentorships. They run these schemes where you can polish off that unfinished screenplay or rough cut of a new film. There's also the decade-old Black Star Festival in Philadelphia, which specialises in work of black, brown and indigenous storytellers, with a particular emphasis on stories from those who've traditionally been overlooked. Similarly, there's the New York Latino Film Festival, offering a home for Latinx filmmakers. As with Black Star, it offers professional development programs and networking opportunities, as well as the chance to get exposure in local as well as national press. Being in New York, the festival also offers creators access to New York City's discerning movie audiences, art institutions and industry ties. Festivals are more likely to choose and feature the filmmakers from their own communities. In fact, during submission process, many organisations will ask if the filmmaker is local. The Atlanta Film Festival is one of the biggest in the US, and it favours filmmakers from the southern states. Does your film capture a marginalised experience? Every summer, LGBTQIA filmmakers head to Hollywood from around the world for Outfest. As with most festivals, they showcase shorts, features and documentaries. And again, it allows people to network. It cannot be overstated the importance of this. Festivals are used to network, to get the next thing off the ground. So go equipped with business cards or whatever, because there will be both formal networking events, but also a lot of partying. There are also specialist festivals around the world, whether they be LGBTQIA, Black or Asian. You just have to look into it. Austin is best known for its conference at South by Southwest, although they're equally strong with TV. South by Southwest is open to filmmakers of all levels, again with a great accent on panels, mentorships and workshops. Many festivals are dedicated by genre. Horror is enjoying a resurgence thanks to filmmakers like Jordan Peele and Ari Aster. Montreal's Fantasia bills itself as the vanguard of international genre cinema. Famous for its inclusive, fan-welcoming atmosphere, the festival is considered a central destination for all horror fans. Fantasia's US equivalent is Fantastic Fest, which takes place again in Austin. Festivals are inundated, so you need to tell a unique story and tell it well. One of the first things taught us at film school was to tell a personal story. Tell the story you know. Now, I'm not going to be absolutist, but there's an obvious advantage to doing that, as well as an additional push for you to keep at it. When someone is doing something less emotive, it might mean they give up. So find a story worth telling and an original or engaging way of telling it. Take risks. Learn from filmmakers who have gone before, but don't copy. Don't make a cheap version of something we've seen before. That's just not going to cut it against the fierce competition of a festival entry list. Don't be afraid to get in touch with the festivals and find out more about what they're looking for. It can save time, but it can also save you money. Really consider the smaller niche festivals rather than the big boys just because they're the big boys. You really need to work out whether your film will be a good fit. There are so many festivals. At any one time around the world, there are any number going on simultaneously. So they have to specialise in order to survive. After all, there are only a finite number of films made in a year anyway. But this plays into your hands just as well. If you've made a comedy, a dark drama, a sci-fi, there'll be a specialist festival that want your film over others. Do your research. It's going to save you money because every entry you pay is another chunk of your budget gone. Make sure you're up to snuff with the quality of your submission. Most of all, with sound. Sound will make or break your film, as I've said before. Not only will good sound save you a fortune in post, it'll also put your film head and shoulders above much of the competition when it comes to festival submissions and distribution. You cannot afford to cut corners here. Have a good route around also for festivals that encourage new filmmakers. With all of these things, you're really going to want to optimise your chances for success. So the more polished and complete your film with extras, and the more homework you can do researching your best festival launch point, the better. But try not to fall into the trap of rushing everything because the festival you think you want is deadlining in a month. Having deadlines is a good thing in getting you off the ground, but pushing for a festival date can be a really bad idea. There are other festivals and there's also next year. Get the film right above all else. I've been very Western centric here, but I have to confess I don't know a lot about the festivals in Asia, never having been. But the principles are exactly the same. There are the big ones and then there are the lesser ones. All of them will specialise to some degree. Some of the bigger festivals will change their genre year on year just for the hell of it. And all of them will have networking possibilities, but all of them also cost. Entering festivals is a really challenging business. There are of course online mechanisms now to help though, such as Film Freeway, Realport and Withoutabox. They enable you to upload your film just once, fill in all the necessary forms once and provide posters and EPKs. You can then apply for the festivals which all have their deadlines clearly shown, pay the fees and the festivals can retrieve all they need from there without you trawling through a mountain of applications across how many different websites.